So that's what I'm going to try and do for all 300 of these conditions. Fun! It's been a hot minute since I've sat down and filmed anything, so apologies for that, but I'm back. It is the start of my final year, which is scary. Like, this time next year I'm going to be qualified as a doctor, so very exciting year ahead. And I feel like this year I'm ready to get things done. Over the summer I was just working full time. I was doing 45-hour weeks, which is probably not a lot for some people. Like, people work more than that, but I've never done like consistent full-time 45-hour weeks before. So that was a lot. Did a lot of that over the summer, and it was good because I was able to like save up a bit of money and stuff. Then me and Talon, my boyfriend, we went to Barcelona, which was unreal. We did so many things in Barcelona. It was very cute. There were like lots of different animals at the zoo, we went to an aquarium, lots of beach time obviously, and sangria, and the food was just unreal. And then obviously the weather. The weather is so much nicer in Barcelona than it is in Scotland, so that was much needed. We literally got back last week and then we're straight into exams. So now I've rested, I've taken time away from medicine, and we're back, baby. At the end of 6th year, we have what's called the MLA in the UK. So I need to sit that exam in January, or I think it might actually be the start of February, but I've got other exams in January. So it is August right now, and I've got finals basically at the start of next year. So right off the bat, we're back into study time. I feel like I'm always in study time. I guess that's what I get for picking medicine. It is very much always in study time, but this is like the final push. This year's a little bit different to the other years, but I'm going to show you how I get organised for the semester and prep myself for big exams, because you know what? This is my 6th year now. Like, this is not my first rodeo, and hopefully I'll give you some tips for if you're like starting uni, starting medicine, another course, how to get yourself set up and prepared for the year ahead. So this is like my first step of planning and getting ready for anything. So I block in like anything that I've got for uni in blue. This is my work. And then the only other thing that I like to set in stone is just working out what days would be best to go to the gym or any hobbies or something. So it's super important, just set time aside to dedicate some time to movement, even if it's just walks or anything. So I've just set aside like 3 days that we're going to go to the gym and do that, and then I've got church as well. Other than that, I don't like putting other things in my calendar because I get so weighed down by a massive to-do list. Like, if I try to block out every single hour and things, it doesn't work for me. So that's why I put other tasks like laundry. I need to do some pre-reading here, so I block those out, but it can really be done at any time during that day. I much prefer leaving it flexible and just knowing what are the mandatory things I need to do each day, and then moving everything else about.
Chasing dreams, I'm chasing light. Pushing boundaries, taking flight. I keep my head high and never look back. No stopping now, I'm on the rise.
Okay, I wrote all of the conditions from the MLA content map onto my Notion, and boy oh boy did that take a long time. There are over 300 conditions on the map, so I'd best get started now on writing out everything I want to do for them. Now, if you're not doing medicine, you can probably skip ahead from this part. I'll put a timestamp here, but if you are doing medicine, this is how I like to organise my notes for different conditions. This is basically more towards clinical years. In 1st and 2nd year, I didn't really do this. But yeah, once you're wanting to know about specific conditions, this is a good way to lay things out. So what I do is I start by putting all of the areas of clinical practice down. So I've got like acute and emergency, cancer, cardiovascular, like the different systems or different like specialities. And then in each speciality, I'll basically write down the most important conditions that we need to know at whatever level you're at. And I like to do it with these toggle menus because it means that it's less cluttered, and then I can just quickly click into different things all on the same page. And that's what I really like about doing my notes in Notion as opposed to like Word or any other sort of separate documents. I find it a lot more together and easy for my brain to understand. It's just more satisfying to how I like to do things. I organise all of the different names of conditions, and then within the toggle I make a template up at the top so I can just copy and paste it into each one, and I'll put the name of the condition at the top. Then you want to make a definition of what it is, so that's just a brief description of what the condition is. Then I'll do the epidemiology, etiology, and risk factors. That is basically like who gets it, like how often, whereabouts, put the causes. Then pathophysiology, it's like the sciencey mechanism behind things. Things like these top ones I don't generally remember from my studying, but it is really good for OSCEs and things to have an idea of how things come about. It does help separate the conditions and make you just have like a really clear understanding, though sometimes it can be a bit wild. I don't understand the pathophysiology most of the time, so it's okay if it does sound a bit complicated. It normally is quite complicated. Then we're moving on to how the patient would actually seem. So you go presentation, their symptoms, what examination findings and things you'd have. Differentials, what other things it could be. It's always good, especially for OSCEs or just clinical practice, to have other things in your head. So just put down the other conditions that can present similarly, or things you would be thinking about if a patient presented with this kind of a condition. Then the investigations. Inside investigations, I also like to do like scoring systems and things, because the scoring systems can get very niche very quickly. So if you just put them in next to the conditions, it can be really helpful. Then I go into management, drugs and stuff. I look at the complications and prognosis that can happen from it, and then any prevention steps. And that's just like a good summary for a condition. I based mine on ones that you've got online. You can Google it and find ones that you like better, or just work out how you like to lay things out. But I find that helps me really understand a condition if we're doing it like deep dive into it. Then I like all that information here. So that's what I'm going to try and do for all 300 of these conditions. Fun! I've definitely been doing that for way too long now. So I'm going to go off to the gym now whilst I still have some motivation. I really need to like keep the ball rolling, or else I'll like sit down and start reading my book and then I just won't get back up.
Think my ego is falling and I'm crashing. She's somebody that don't need nobody. She's still stuck in my head. Lips of satisfaction, I can't get no reaction. She's still stuck in my head.
I'm back. I went and had dinner, I got showered after the gym, and I've just changed into my PJs. I did so much just like admin and sorting all of the different conditions into their sections, and started doing a couple of like definitions and things. So I'm gonna move on to doing some questions now, because I do always find doing questions a bit more fun as well, because it's just like boop, 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 boop. It's just like a little game, you know? And I see the feeling of getting questions right on PassMed. It is chef's kiss. It is so good. It's addictive. I'm not going to set like a time limit on it or anything, because it's just going to be a little fun one for now. Let's see how many questions we get done. Enough studying for tonight. I ended up doing like 25 questions, and I'll keep it transparent with you guys. I didn't do as well as I'd hoped to, but like this is just a start, so I'm not like feeling sad about it or anything. Yeah, PassMed questions are difficult, especially if you've not studied and stuff. And I think like a lot of people, especially in medicine, you can get like imposter syndrome because everyone around you seems to be doing so well and they're so knowledgeable. But yeah, I'll keep it transparent with you. I've made it 6th year and I score badly in tests at the start of the year. It is natural. The only way is up, and you just learn more that way. So don't be scared of getting questions wrong. Motivational speech over. But yeah, I'm just gonna read now. I've been reading Caraval and it's actually quite good so far. I do like just a light romantasy, easy to read thing. I'm one of those girls, I like it. Fourth Ring is like my favourite book. I love a bit of anything like this. So I'm going to read some of this and just wind down for the night. Now that I'm back to uni, I'm going to try and make some more study content videos because it really keeps me motivated and I hope it is motivational to other people out there as well. So yeah, thank you so much for joining me today and I'll see you next time. Bye.
Somebody that don't need nobody. She's still stuck in my head.